Greetings everybody, this is Gaia Earth Goddess. I'm coming back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about my experience connecting with a tree. So I made a video about this before, but I deleted it because I didn't like the way that it went. But I just wanted to do a simple little talk about how I connected with a tree. And I've already made a video about the earth, and connecting with the earth. But like I said, everything in this universe that we're in on earth is telepathic. It speaks through the mind, and you're not actually supposed to be using your mouth. You're supposed to be using your mind to talk to things, because that's how everything else speaks. Humans are the only ones that speak with their mouth. You're supposed to be speaking with your mind, and you can talk to so many more things. I mean, the animals, the insects, they talk, the trees, everything. So not at this particular house, but at my old house, there was a tree that I had in the front yard. It was very, very big. I think it was a very big oak tree. And the house that I was living in was very, very small. It was a very small house with this big tree in the yard. We're the only house on the block with this giant tree in the yard. And I was fearful when I lived there at first, because I was afraid that the tree was going to fall on the house, because if there's like a big storm or something, there was a neighbor down the block and a little up from me, and the tree had fell in their yard, but it fell luckily across the street. It didn't fall towards the house, it fell towards the street. And so that made me even more nervous about the tree in our yard falling. And their tree was smaller, but I was still really nervous. So I had gotten to a point in my spiritual journey where I was talking to the earth a lot. And so I decided to start trying to talk to trees and plants. And something just told me to start talking to that particular tree. And what I did was, and this is what you can do to talk to trees. Every tree has a part of its trunk that is like a flat surface, like it's different than the other part of the bark. And that is the part of the tree you're supposed to communicate on. And every tree has it, because you're supposed to communicate with trees. So you literally have to go around the trunk, and you're going to see a small area where the bark looks slightly different, or slightly smoother or lighter, or maybe that part doesn't have any bark right there, and the tree will actually send you a telepathic signal to let you know when you found it, and that's where you connect. So I went around the tree, and I got this this energy from the tree when I got to a certain part of the trunk, that this was the spot that particular tree used to communicate with people. So I went to that part of the trunk, and I put my forehead there. I put my third eye region on that part. So I'm getting a download that is the tree's third eye. So wherever that spot is, that's the tree's third eye. So it's like your third eye is connecting with the tree's third eye, and they're linking. And that is what helps the telepathic communication between you and the tree. So I put my head there, and I closed my eyes. Closing your eyes is always helpful, helps you focus. But as soon as I closed my eyes, I saw a vision. And the vision that the tree sent me, and this is a tree, the vision that particular tree sent me was it falling. It showed the base of the trunk splitting, and it falling onto the house. And I saw a clear vision of it falling on the house. After I saw that vision, I got a divine message from the tree, telepathically saying, yes, one day I'm going to fall. I'm going to fall on this house, because trees eventually fall down. That's our life cycle. Like, we live and we die, like you guys live and die. I'm going to eventually fall. But while you and your daughters, your family are in this house, I'm not going to fall in the house. While you're in the house, I'm going to make sure I don't fall in this house. Because people have to realize fear and nervousness is an energy. And even though I hadn't reached out or talked to this tree, yet it felt the nervousness and the fear from me of it falling. So it took that time. It already knew I was scared. It took that time to tell me, hey, I'm going to fall one day. That's inevitable. But I'm going to make sure I don't fall on the house while y'all are in that house. just to kind of reassure me. And I think that tree wanted to reach out to me for a very long time, but I hadn't taken the initiative to slow down and actually connect with this tree. So after that vision, I felt much better about the tree in the yard. We would have conversations. I would walk up to the tree and put my head towards the tree, and we would actually talk like you talk to people, like we just regular telepathic conversations with this tree. And, we grew a friendship, me and that tree. He was my friend. It was a masculine tree. He was a he. He actually had a face. Also, side note, trees have faces. You have to pay very close attention to their trunks. Just like there's a certain area on the trunk that is the third eye that you can put your forehead on to connect with the tree, there's also areas on the trunk of the tree where you can actually see the face. Sometimes they have these little notches on the bark that look like eyes, and you just have to pay attention. Trees actually have faces. Trees can actually, and I know this is going to sound different for a lot of people, trees can actually walk. Getting my daughter out the street. Get out the street. Trees can actually walk. And a lot of people don't realize that. But they don't walk in regular cases because most of us are not sitting in the vibrational frequency we need to be consciously for them to freely walk around. In ancient times, they used to move. They do this thing where they glide through the ground, and that's them walking. They walk from place to place when they feel the need to be in a safer area with more sunlight, more water, better soil, things like that. And they can walk, but in most cases they don't. But there are a few YouTube videos and TikToks of people actually seeing trees gliding through the ground. They do walk. They have the ability to walk. Most of them can't because they know that we are not ready to see that because we're not vibrating like we used to be in ancient times when they could freely walk. I know people have seen like cartoons where you see a face on the tree and the tree is talking. Like I said, these cartoons and movies are trying to tell you something. Trees have faces. You just have to find that face. But if you look at the trunk long enough, you'll find it. But like I said, me and this particular tree, we grew into a friendship. We connected. We talked almost every day, especially when it wasn't cold outside. I was out every day talking to that tree because it was the only tree in the yard. Now that I moved, I am building a relationship with the trees in my front and backyard. There's 3 trees. The relationship that I have strongest right now is with the peach tree in the middle of our backyard. She's quite nice. And I talk to her. Put that down. I talk to her pretty often. Maybe I should a little more. But she's nice. The tree in my front yard has sweet energy. I'm looking at her right now. And she's very nice. But I need to come out and talk to these trees more. And I think this tree has a little baby next to her. Tree trying to sprout up, which is lovely. She has a child. But the big tree in my backyard, he's not quite as big as the other big tree at my previous house. But he's pretty big, and he's more standoffish. He's very old. He's okay. Trees have personalities. He's not as open as the other big tree in my old yard. But when I got ready to move from my old house, it came time for me to say goodbye to that tree at my old house. And I put my forehead on the trunk of the tree. And I told the tree that I was moving and I was saying bye-bye. And I was saying goodbye, and he said, "Thank you. Out of all the people who have lived in this house, you are the only one who's ever taken the time to connect with me and talk with me. The only one." And he told me, "Thank you." And what happens with trees send out signals. So the tree in your yard way across town, if that tree knows that you're a good person, they will actually send out a vibrational signal, like a frequency, to other trees across in the area. And so you'll have trees in other areas that will be honoring you and communicating with you because you made tree with a tree clean across town, because they all communicate energetically. When I was working, I worked in Southwest Atlanta, but I worked in North Atlanta. And so it was way further away than that tree was. And I would go to work, and I noticed even the trees at like my old job, they would talk to me. I was sitting in my car one day at work on my lunch break, and this tree forced its branch through the window, because the window was open. It didn't break the window, but the window was partially open. It forced it in, and one of the leaves, it used one of the actual leaves to communicate with me, and it gave me all these compliments and saying I was divine and I was chosen, and I communicated with that tree. But that was because these trees had been communicating with one another, and that tree in my old front yard sent out a message saying, hey, she's cool, like she's really nice, like she talks to us, she connects with us, things like that. And I can also feel a difference in my new neighborhood. These trees, like right now, I can feel their energy. They're communicating with me now. They're saying hi. I can feel their good energy. I can feel it off the tree right here. I can feel it off the tree in my backyard. Like I said, he's a little bit more standoffish, but his energy is not negative towards me because they all communicate. So let's just say that you're abusing a tree, like you're taking a branch off of a tree across town, and then next thing you know, you go to the other side of town and a branch from a tree breaks your window. That is retaliation, because these trees communicate. You do not get away with harming plants and trees. You don't. They communicate. But that was just my quick rundown of my connection with a tree and how I built a relationship and a friendship with a tree. And anybody can do this. You have to just take the time to talk to these trees. You talk to them how they talk. They're telepathic. So you just put your brain, your third eye against theirs, and you freely speak. They're going to talk back to you. Some trees may not want to be bothered. They say, oh, I'd rather not be bothered. But sometimes they're friendly. Like I said, they all have personalities just like we do. So that was just my account about my friendship with the tree. Tell me if you talk to trees, plants, things like that. I also talk to my bushes and my plants. I talk to the blades of grass in my yard, and I talk to flowers as well. Plants oftentimes are very eager to talk to us because nobody talks to them anymore. So when they find somebody who's telepathically talking to them, they'll be like, oh my gosh, hi. And they want to talk to you. They're so excited because they want that connection, because they remember in ancient times when we talked to them. They also remember when we stopped, and it makes them very sad. We're connected with way more than you know. Animals are the same way. I have started connecting with insects more. And sometimes it'd happen randomly where I'll be approached by an insect and they're trying to talk to me, and I'm like, hi, and I can hear them talking to me. Bees, talk to bees. They're very nice, especially those wood bees, those big chunky ones. They're so cute. Talk to those. They're very positive. They are not trying to sting you. They are really nice, friendly bees. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you have been talking to the plants in your life, and tell me what you think. All right, bye-bye.